Hello everyone, in this video we will speak about the leftover topics of the post-fertilization event. We have already covered the first event of the post-fertilization in the previous video, and if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, please do so as I will be covering the whole NCERT for your board examination. So gastrulation is the second phase of the post-fertilization event. In gastrulation, movement of the cells happen to form the germ layers. Now, we have already seen that embryonal mass was formed that actually will develop in fetus. Now, another important thing is that germ layers will be developed. Means one after the another, 3 layers will be developed, and these layers will be named from outer to inner side. That means the outermost layer will be developed and it will be known as ectoderm. Then the middle layer will be known as mesoderm, and the innermost layer that will be developed, it will be known as endoderm. So these 3 germ layers will be developed in the gastrulation phase, and they are produced because of some reason that will be described in the organogenesis process. The another thing that happens in the gastrulation period is the amnion layer. It starts producing amniotic fluid. So amniotic fluid is present around the embryonal mass, and in chapter number 4, reproductive health, we would be talking about the utility of the amniotic fluid. Now here in this chapter, because we are talking about pregnancy, thus you must know that amniotic fluid would be the one that will occur as shock absorbing fluid. So that shock should not transfer internally to the fetus because it may cause injury. We will be talking about amniotic fluid in detail when we will discuss the technique amniocentesis in reproductive health chapter. So in gastrulation, the movement of cell has to happen to form the germ layers. Amniotic fluid will be very much prominent. Along with that, umbilical cord is very much developed in this period. So umbilical cord is actually a cord-like structure. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe my channel. Don't forget to press the bell icon for the recent updates, which connects placenta at one end and fetus on the other end. So this is the fetus. In the navel of the fetus, this umbilical cord is there, and the other end of the umbilical cord is connected with the placenta. The function of placenta is to transfer all the nutrients. It helps in the diffusion process. So the oxygen goes from the oxygenated blood in the uterine part in the fetus, and the CO2 as a waste comes out because fetus is not using the respiratory system. It is not dependent upon the lungs. The baby will start using its own respiratory system when it will come to the outside world. Now as gastrulation gets over, the next phase that has to occur is organogenesis. Genesis always means synthesis. Now with genesis, the prefix is organo, means organs will be getting synthesized. So organs will be synthesized from the germ layers that have already been synthesized in gastrulation. So organogenesis refers to the synthesis of the organs from the germ layers that have been synthesized in the gastrulation period. So germ layers, they are 3 moving from outer to inner side. This one is the outer one, this one is the middle one, and this one is the inner one. So ectoderm will form the skin, its epidermal part basically, the cornea of the eyes, the nervous system and lot many other structures. Mesoderm will form the skeleton, muscular system, etc. Endoderm will form liver, lungs, digestive system, etc. Now there are few more terms which you must understand, and this is gestation period. Actually, gestation period is the time period from the day the woman conceives till her delivery happens. So gestation period for the human female, it is normally 9 months. Now this 9-month period is divided into 3 groups, and each group contains 3-month period. So we have divided this 9-month period into the 3 equal parts, and these 3 equal parts are known as trimesters. So the first trimester is known as trimester 1, the second is known as trimester 2, and the third is known as trimester 3. Now trimester 1 is very difficult for a female to settle up with all the changes. Growth is maximum in the trimester 2nd period, and of course the weight increases, thus a woman feels lot of difficulty in all the activities in trimester 3. Now important to note is that in trimester 1, which is including the first 3 months, in the first month during the pregnancy, the heartbeat is developed in an embryo. Means the palpation sound is heard at the time of ultrasound. At the end of trimester 1, the sex is determined. Means the gynecologist, she can diagnose the sex of the baby, but actually it is banned in India because long way back the people, they go for the female feticide. Means once they detect the child sex, and if they found that the child is going to be a girl, they go for abortion or medical termination of such type of cases. Thus it is strictly been banned in India. However, in the foreign countries it is still in practice. At the end of 6-month period, hair develop on the fetus, right? So organogenesis happens between 6 weeks to 10 weeks. So this 6 week to 10 week period comes between both of these trimesters. This is also important that organs which we have just discussed, that ectoderm will form this, mesoderm will form this, endoderm will form this. This happens between 6 week to 10 week period of pregnancy. Now we will talk about parturition, which is a process of delivering the baby. So once gestation period is over, once enough fetal growth has taken place, the time has come to deliver the baby. In case of normal delivery, the baby comes out of the vaginal tract. Now when the baby comes out of the vaginal tract, prior to that, a reflex action happens in the body of the pregnant woman, and that is known as fetal ejection reflex. As the name itself is making a sense that fetus has to come out now because it has fully grown. So for that to happen, what happens? 2 components, they help in it. One is placenta and the other is the fully grown fetus. So once fetus is ready, placenta is also ready. They both stimulate the fetal ejection reflex. Now because of this, oxytocin hormone is produced by the posterior pituitary. Now this oxytocin hormone will act on the muscles of the uterus, and it will continuously, rhythmically, it will bring contraction and relaxation, which is known to you by the term labor pain. So once it induces the labor pain, that uterine muscles, they work as per the positive feedback. Means that pain that is produced once, it will stimulate the production of oxytocin on its own. So this process will go on and on. Means pain will be there, oxytocin will be produced, then it will stimulate the action, then again oxytocin will be produced. So this cycle on and on until delivery does not happen. So once delivery or parturition happens, this fetal ejection reflex will be automatically stopped and placenta will be discarded. Umbilical cord will be tied onto the navel of the baby. Now once parturition occurs, the role of 2 hormones is again very important. One is prolactin and another is oxytocin. Prolactin is produced by the anterior pituitary and oxytocin is produced by the posterior pituitary. Now, the work of prolactin is that it helps in the production of milk from the mammary glands. We have already studied the structure of mammary glands, that alveoli are there. So alveoli, they produce the milk because prolactin provokes them, right? And posterior pituitary is responsible for the release of milk. So role of both these hormones, it is very, very important. Prolactin produces the milk and oxytocin helps in the release of that milk from the nipple, right? So in the beginning period, means in the initial 6 months, the baby is 100% dependent upon the mother's milk, and this phase in the human female life, it is known as lactation period. The first milk that comes out from the mammary gland, it is known as colostrum. It is a yellow colored fluid, and rural area people, they think that this should not be given to the child. However, this is 100% a myth, because this yellow colored fluid which comes out from the mammary glands, it is very much rich in the maternal antibodies. Maternal antibodies means the antibodies which are there in the mother or the mom. They will get transferred into the newborn through this colostrum only. So colostrum should be given to the child to develop or to raise the immunity of that baby. Automatically after some time, the colostrum is changed into the milk, right? So with this, we come to the end of chapter number 3, human reproduction. Hope you have understood everything. Now we will deal in with some numerical problems of this chapter in my next video. So please do subscribe to my channel. Thank you.